And Brandon with RevZilla, and today we are checking out the Shark Race R Pro GP helmet, available at RevZilla.com. So the Race R Pro GP helmet, this thing looks pretty slick, and some of the fastest guys in the world are utilizing this helmet on the GP grid right now. And actually we have a throwback to Lorenzo, even though he's retired. This is a Lorenzo graphic over here on the right, which looks incredibly sharp in my personal opinion. The big update here, this is really utilizing the Carbon Race R Pro helmet. That's what we got over here on the left-hand side. If you're familiar with that lid, this is utilizing that same DNA. However, we've got a spoiler incorporated as well. And this is really what those guys out there on the track are utilizing. And it just helps with those centrifugal forces and those downward forces and stability when you're riding at those higher rates of speed. I wish we got the FIM certification. However, we did not. But otherwise, this really is the same helmet as what you're going to see with those really fast guys out there like Lorenzo that I mentioned before, or Zarco. This is going to be a great option, and I really like that we're seeing technology and bits and pieces of what we see with those top level athletes, top level riders, trickling down to the everyday rider like myself and like you out there viewing this particular helmet. So let's dive in a little bit deeper here. We've got a carbon aramid shell main construction. Again, the same DNA as the Carbon Race R Pro helmet. You're looking at 3 pounds, 9 ounces in a size medium. Not super heavy, but not the most lightweight option, especially considering this particular price point, coming in right at $1,000, whereas the Carbon was right around $750. So definitely a price jump considering it's utilizing the same DNA, and we're really just getting the spoiler here on the rear. I wish we were getting a bit more out of this particular helmet considering the price point, but there's no denying how good this helmet actually looks. I'm pretty excited to get out there on the track and put this thing through its paces here. 2 shell sizes, that's going to be another miss for me. You're looking at extra small to medium, and then you've got your large to XL on the other shell. I think at this particular price point, we should have more individual shells to keep this a bit more low profile in the overall shell design, the size, and that's going to help reduce the overall weight as well. So for me, I would love to see that, more shell sizes within the sizing range. DOT and ECE certified, of course, and I mentioned before, 3 pounds, 9 ounces in a size medium. Not bad, not the best I've seen, and we are getting this rear spoiler there, so keep that in mind. That is going to help attribute to some of that weight that you are going to experience. Now keep in mind, at $1,000, of course, this helmet is going to ship to you for free, and as always, we do have a price match policy in place that is there to ensure that you are getting the best deal around. Let's start talking about the shield here. Now, if you're not familiar with the Carbon Race R Pro, that's the one I've got over here. Again, very similar DNA. They've got a lot of similarities when it comes to the shield. Slight update here on this one. You've got some tear-off pins over on the left side and the right, of course. No tear-offs are included. Incredible optics on the shield. That is certainly one thing I wanted to mention right out of the gate. And it's a little bit thicker right here in the center of the shield just to help with the overall protection that it's going to provide. It thins out a little bit to about approximately 3 millimeters as you go to the sides, but 4 millimeter thickness right here in the middle, and then tapers down to that about 3 millimeters thickness when it goes around to the sides. But they kept the optics spot on. I mean, it's a very flat shield. It looks incredible from the inside out, no doubt about it. Now the shield might be a little bit unique to open and close. I do want to mention that it's a little bit finicky. It's not my favorite design. It's not the worst design by any means, but what you would want to do, I'll go ahead and grab it from this side here to open that shield a little bit. You kind of crack that open, and they're going to lift this about halfway. You see how this kind of springs out here? I'm not sure if you can see that in the camera, but it kind of pops right out there. We'll go ahead and do it on this side as well, just to give you a better look at that. That'll spring out, and that allows you to just pull the shield right out of place. It's that simple. So it's not really tough. It's a simple design, but it's not my favorite. And you have to make sure the shield is halfway open, and then lock this in place, go over back to this side, lock this down in place, and then you can close the shield. And it will snap closed, of course, as you heard that there, to keep it nice and secure. And you can actually tighten these down on the side, and that's gonna help with the retention and keeping this nice and secure against the gasket. Really great gasket, really nice seal here. I just don't absolutely love that design on opening and closing the shield itself. But Speaking of the shield, you did get a clear shield and a dark smoke shield included in the box. Obviously, we've got the dark smoke installed here because it looks incredible. Ventilation, obviously another key point we should cover here. Really excellent ventilation, really deep channels on the inside of the EPS, which we will get into in just a moment. But you can see a nice large vent here right at the front. Then you've got 2 intake vents here, one right there on the crown, and then your exhaust vent. You can't really see those, but that's going to work its way through this spoiler here at the rear of this particular helmet. Very aggressive, very sport-oriented design with the overall shell. The internal shape is going to be an intermediate oval. It's a bit more elongated front to back than it's going to be side to side. And that works well for most of the American market, works well for me. I will note the cheeks are very, very snug. This is one of those occasions that I would say, if you're in between 2 sizes, let's say a medium or a large, and you're right there in the middle, I'm gonna say hop up to that large. This has a very aggressive race fit to it. The cheeks are very, very snug. Obviously, it's going to relax. Every helmet does, but this is one of those rare instances that I would say if you're in between 2 sizes, go with the larger option. I think it'll be a bit more comfortable for you. Personally, I went with the medium, but man, it is snug. And we had a few different people try it on, and that was just kind of our experience. So that's what I would recommend for you. Let's talk about the interior here real quick. Let's dive into that. We've covered the shield, talk about the exterior here. There's a lot going on the inside. As you can see, that might be a little bit tough with that rear spoiler there, so I'll angle it down a little bit here. But as you can see, this is removable. This is gonna be like an extended chin skirt, so you can actually pop that right out of place. Let me wrestle this. Sorry for all the squeaking of the plastic on that donut, but very easy to remove here. That snap button, so you can pop that in and out if you want more airflow. If you're riding at those higher speeds, it's really hot outside, you can remove that, and that'll just help get some airflow underneath there. Very easy update. I'm gonna go ahead and pull out the neck roll. Takes a little bit of wrestling there. There we go. Got it out of place. Sometimes it just takes a little wrestling there. And we'll take a closer look at the EPS on the inside there. So that's the neck roll, very straightforward. And I also wanted to mention, this might be tough to see, but there's a little filter here on the inside. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this thing out just so you can get a quick look at it. It might be easier to see. It's there to help block debris if you've got that vent wide open, but you can actually change the positioning as well and flip it up and block that completely if you wish to do so. Might be a little bit gimmicky, but you know, they're giving you options. They're giving you some additional pieces to work with if you need to do so. The other thing I wanted to mention, go ahead and put this down real quick. I went ahead on the Lorenzo graphic and installed this. This is going to come inside the box as well. It's a very thick breath guard on the inside of this helmet. So you can see that there. It's kind of this rubbery feeling. It's a fog guard. It's going to be a great option for the winter to help block some of that wind and serve as a breath guard as well. But it's very beefy, very chunky on the inside there. But again, just some additional versatility that Shark is giving you that is included in the box. So I like that. Any additions that I can get are certainly going to be beneficial. Feels a little bit claustrophobic though with that large piece installed there, that large breath guard I should say, just wrestling these cheek pads out. Obviously nice contour to your face. That's gonna break in very well with regular use and time. Let's wrestle this other guy out of here. This helmet is set up to accommodate the shark tooth system. However, you shouldn't have any problems adding in a Cena unit or a Cardo unit with this particular helmet. You've got nice large speaker cutouts on the inside. I'll go ahead and flip that up. Get a quick shot of that. Right there on the left and the right, you can see just below that tab where the cheek pad locks in, that is going to be where you would install those speakers. So easy to fit in a Cena or a Cardo unit. Let's go ahead and rip out the interior liner. Stuff takes a little bit of wrestling. Very straightforward. There's your liner, no big deal there. But what is a big deal are these incredibly massive EPS channels on the inside of this helmet. I mean, that is pretty stout there on the inside. So definitely excellent airflow with this helmet. I really like that, as I mentioned before, we're getting something that, you know, we see with the fastest riders on the market today utilizing. You know, it's got that spoiler there. We've got excellent ventilation. The shield has incredible optics. I really like how it locks in place, really great seal, really designed and geared towards those high speeds, that high speed track environment, race environment. I'd love to get that FIM certification, and I'd love to see more shell sizes within this particular helmet. I can get past the mechanism for the shield itself to take it on and off, but I'd love to see more shell sizes, maybe help reduce, some of that weight, and I'd love to see an FIM certified option available to us as well. But overall, this helmet looks incredible. I especially love the Lorenzo graphic over here on the right. I think this is going to work really well for a lot of sport riders out there, a lot of track day enthusiasts looking for something that's going to push the limits and going to be able to hang with them out there on the track. Of course, if you have any additional questions for us about this particular helmet, please do not hesitate to reach out. There's a lot to cover, so if there's something I missed, I'm happy to help you out. But of course, you can click that info button. That's going to take you over to RevZilla.com, and you can always reach out to our gear geeks. Give them a call at 877-792-9455, or simply shoot over an email, cs@RevZilla.com. Thanks for hanging out with us and taking a closer look at the Shark Race R Pro GP helmet. I'm Brandon. Keep it pinned.